If you're thinking about buying your first automatic watch or want to expand your collection without breaking the bank, stick around because today I'm bringing you 7 watches that are going to blow your mind. These are the 7 best automatic watches available in Europe right now, and no, I'm not going to talk about brands that cost as much as a used car. I'm going to show you watches with sapphire crystal, reliable Japanese movements, and designs that look like they cost 5 times more than they actually do. All the links are in the video description. Let's get into it. We start with the Pagani Design 1645, and I have to be honest with you, this watch shouldn't exist at this price. We're talking about real sapphire crystal, the same material found in watches costing thousands of euros, and it's practically impossible to scratch. The movement is a Seiko SNXS77K1, which is basically the engine you find in Seikos that cost 4 or 5 times more. It has manual winding in case it stops, a hacking seconds hand for precise time setting, and a power reserve of around 41 hours. The bracelet features solid links with screw pins, no cheap stamped metal here. Now, being honest, there are a couple of things you should know. The edges of the bracelet can come a bit sharp from the factory, nothing serious, but some users run a nail file over them to smooth things out. And the nighttime luminosity isn't its strongest point, it fades relatively quickly. But picture this. You walk into a work meeting with this watch on your wrist, the blue dial catches the light in the room, and your colleague asks if it's a Swiss watch. You smile and change the subject. That's the effect the Pagani Design achieves. Now comes one I love recommending because it has a trick to it, the Invicta Pro Diver 8926OB. Yes, I know Invicta has a reputation for making enormous watches that look like hubcaps, but this model is different. It's a classic 40mm, perfect proportions, and it runs the same Seiko NH35A movement as the Pagani. It has a genuine 200 meters water resistance, screw-down crown, and it's an absolute tank. But here comes the trick that many people use to transform this watch. You remove the steel bracelet and fit a black or dark brown crocodile-style leather strap. The result is spectacular. You go from having a dive watch to something that looks straight out of a 1960s James Bond film. The original bracelet has hollow links that rattle a bit, so by swapping it for leather, you gain in aesthetics and perceived quality. It's the perfect watch to learn with, to tinker with, to experiment with. If you get bored in a year, you can change the dial, fit an aftermarket sapphire crystal, or simply give it a new strap. It's like buying a car to learn mechanics, but for your wrist. The Seiko SNXS77K1 is a hidden gem that watch enthusiasts know very well. It measures 37mm, a classic size that looks elegant without shouting. But what really stands out is that blue sunburst dial. Seriously, under different lighting it shifts from almost black to a vibrant electric blue that's mesmerizing. It's the type of dial you see on high-end watches, and here you have it for a fraction of the price. Seiko's Lumi Brighty is in another league compared to the Chinese competition. It glows strongly and lasts all night. That said, the 7S26 movement is old school. It doesn't have manual winding, so if it stops, you have to shake it to get it going, the famous Seiko shuffle. It also doesn't hack when setting the time. But you know what? That movement is a tractor that can run for 15 to 20 years without servicing. The original bracelet is rather basic and pulls arm hair, so I recommend swapping it for a brown leather strap. It has a 19mm lug width, which is a bit unusual, but straps are easy enough to find. Once you make the change, you have a watch that looks like it was inherited from a grandfather with excellent taste. The Orient Bambino 38mm is the definitive answer to the question of what's the best affordable dress watch. For years, the Bambino was great, but too big. It looked like a dinner plate on the wrist. This version corrects everything. 38mm and 44 lug to lug, perfect proportions to peek out from under a shirt cuff. The mineral crystal has a domed curvature that gives it that vintage feel of 1950s Omegas. The champagne dial is matte and refined, with polished Dauphine hands that catch the light beautifully. The movement is an Orient F6724, manufactured in-house, featuring manual winding and a hacking seconds hand, everything you need for daily wear. And they've finally fitted a 20mm lug width, so changing the strap is easy. Picture this. You have a wedding next month, you put on your suit, white shirt, and on your wrist you're wearing this Bambino. When you raise your glass to toast, the light in the venue is going to make that dial shine in a way that catches more than a few eyes. That's the power of a well-chosen dress watch. The Addiesdive AD2059 is the one that surprised me most on this list. The dial has a texture that mimics desert sand dunes, with ripples that capture light in a hypnotic way. This type of textured dial is what you see on Grand Seiko, watches that cost as much as a small car. And here you have it for the price of a dinner for 2. It features sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, which lets you appreciate the texture without annoying glare. The 39mm size is the current sweet spot. It works well on wrists from 6 to 8 inches. The engine is a Seiko SNXS77K1, so reliability is guaranteed. Compared to the Pagani, the Addiesdive focuses less on imitating luxury designs and more on offering something visually unique. If the Pagani is for someone who wants to look like they're wearing an expensive watch, the Addiesdive is for someone who wants a watch that starts conversations. The Berny AM339M-A is for the nonconformists. It has 2 crowns, one at 2 o'clock and another at 4. The top one controls an internal rotating bezel under the crystal, and the bottom one sets the time. This design is called Super Compressor and was popular in the 60s on luxury dive watches. With the internal bezel, the watch profile is completely smooth, nothing to catch on shirt cuffs, but the most spectacular feature is the luminosity. The hands glow orange, the indices green, and the bezel markers blue. At night, it looks like an airplane dashboard. It's absolutely brilliant. The Miyota 8-215 movement is reliable, although the rotor makes some noise when it moves, which some find annoying and others find charming. The watch is thick and substantial, 42mm that wear large. It's not for small wrists. And the bezel crown sometimes rotates too easily if it brushes against clothing. But if you want something different, something that when someone asks you the time ends up asking what watch that is, the Berny is your candidate. We close with the Citizen Tsuyosa, which means strength in Japanese, and it's the watch of the moment. The integrated bracelet design is taking over, and Citizen brings it at an accessible price. The bracelet flows directly from the case without traditional lugs, creating a very clean and modern silhouette. The semicircular links catch the light spectacularly. And then there are the colors: yellow, Tiffany blue, green, red. They're vibrant sunburst styles that pop in photos and look incredible in real life. The crystal is sapphire with a Cyclops magnifier for the date. The movement is a Miyota 8-210. Citizen's in-house automatic caliber, reliable and with recent versions already including a hacking seconds hand. The crown is small and recessed at 4 o'clock, which looks sleek but can be tricky for larger hands. And since the bracelet is integrated, you can't swap it for a strap. But if you want a watch that works with casual or smart casual clothing and makes you stand out, the Tsuyosa is unbeatable. So which one should you choose? If you want maximum specifications for minimum money and don't mind an homage design, the Pagani design is mathematically unbeatable. If you prefer a watch you can transform and personalize, the Invicta with a leather strap is a fun project. For the office or formal events, the Orient Bambino 38mm is the mature and elegant choice. If you're the type who stares at the dial more than the time, the Addiesdive with its sand dune texture will win you over. The Seiko SNXS77 is for purists who value brand heritage and that legendary blue dial. The Berny is for those who want something unique that generates questions. And the Citizen Tsuyosa is for those who want to stay on trend with an integrated design. All the links are in the description, listed in the order I've presented them. If this video helped you decide, hit like and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.